Welcome. Today I'm going to go through the different parts of the saxophone with you and how to safely open your case. First things first, we want to make sure that we grab our instrument and place it on a flat, sturdy surface. You don't want to be balancing the case on your knee because as you start removing parts of the saxophone from the case, the weight is going to change and you might end up losing your case. So flat, sturdy surface. Next, we need to identify which is the top of the case and which is the bottom. Now the top is always the skinnier section. So you'll notice on this saxophone, I have a skinnier section and a fatter section. The fat section is the bottom of the saxophone case. The bottom of the saxophone case has all of the little divots in it which hold the instrument. The roof is just a bit of foam. So we don't want to be opening it upside down because everything is going to fall out and chances are we'll damage our instrument. So flat, sturdy surface, identify the lid, make sure it's facing to the roof, and then we need to open our clips. Our clips will go up. And then, ta-da! Now there are three parts of the saxophone, only three. We have the body of the saxophone. Now you'll notice that I've grabbed this from the bell. Where I grabbed it, there are no keys, so I cannot damage this instrument. If I grab it somewhere else where there are keys or rods, I may actually end up damaging, hurting, or bending something, which is not good. So make sure that when you're picking up the body of your saxophone, you're always grabbing it by the bell. The next piece we have is the neck. Now again, when you're grabbing your neck, just be mindful of the moving parts. This octave lever is easily bent, especially if we grab it and place our hand around the key. So whenever you're grabbing it, just be mindful of this key so that you don't do any damage to it. So this piece is the neck. And finally, we have the mouthpiece. Now the mouthpiece has three bits to it. I have the cap. You may or may not have this piece. It basically goes on top of the saxophone mouthpiece and keeps everything safe so that you don't do any damage to your mouthpiece. Next, we have our ligature, which is the metal, could be rope, might be leather, piece that goes on top of the mouthpiece, and this holds your reed in place. And finally, we have our mouthpiece. That is the black plastic thing which we'll put onto our neck, which will help us create the sound of our instrument. So just to recap, three parts to the saxophone. The saxophone body, which we want to be grabbing by the belt so that we don't damage anything. The saxophone neck, which also we want to be thinking about where we grab it so that we don't bend the octave lever. And the mouthpiece, which has a cap, the ligature, and the actual mouthpiece. When opening our case, make sure it's on a flat surface. Don't try balancing it on your knees. The skinny side is the lid, which goes to the roof. The fat side is the bottom, which needs to be on the flat surface. And our clips will flip up to reveal our saxophone.